So Aquarius, the general messages for the month of December. First, I want to say for some of you, I see that you're working for a family business, or you're working for a family member, or for a group that feels like family, or maybe you've been there for quite some time and you've built a rapport. You've established yourself within a company or within your family. But there's some dramatic change in the month of December. It's like a childhood dream or a goal that you've had since childhood. You're evaluating it and you're making a decision after much contemplation to go after what it is you truly want to do and to be who you truly desire to be. For some of you, I see there's a family situation where you have in the past felt obligated to someone. But for one reason or another, this person has made you feel defensive, made you feel like you had to protect yourself. You have in the past taken the high road. But there's an ending to that relationship this month, because you need, for your own sanity and for your own well-being, you need to separate yourself from this situation. And you're realizing this month that it's okay to do that, regardless of whether this person is family or someone closely connected to you who it can be like family to you. You're needing a break. You're needing a break away. For others of you, this is like a work situation. You're wanting to build your financial security and stability. And you're taking on the persona of the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles, who's in the center of the spread here, he's a man who is very much concerned about his financial stability and well-being. Not because he's, money hungry or anything like that. He's just someone who, he wants that security. He wants to know that he's going to have his bills paid, that he's going to be able to take trips when he wants to, and he's going to have a little bit of spending money to do with as he pleases. So I see that you're wanting that security, and you're wanting to build that security net. Some of you are moving away from family because you have worked on that. You have built some financial security for yourself. And maybe your siblings or other family members aren't wanting you to leave, but you feel like you need some reprieve. You're needing some rest. You're needing to break away from your family so that you can be independent and successful in your own right. For some of you, this will mean you leave an old job and begin a new job. For some of you, I'm getting so many messages. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it as I'm getting them. For some of you, you've had a battle at work. You've been struggling to build a foundation where you're at, but there was some kind of conflict there. So you're walking away from that employer, and I feel for some of you, you're creating your own business, or you're opening your own business, or you're using your ideas to start a business for yourself. It's something that you've been thinking about, considering. So you've spent some time really analyzing, is this going to be profitable? Is this worth doing? Am I capable? And you're finally taking the leap this month. And it's something that will be very good for you because you're going to be busy. You're going to have work. For those of you who have not been working and seeking work, you're going to find it this month. I feel like you're worried about your home. You're worried about the finances within your home, being financially secure. There's an ending to unemployment, and you will have employment by the end of the month. And it's been a battle. It's been a battle. Like for the past, I don't know, it could be for a while, you've been really struggling to find employment. You've been diligent, in seeking work. You've even traveled distances trying to find work, and nothing's panned out. But you're finally finding it at the end of this month, okay? And it's going to be like a rebirth for you. You're starting anew. So let's see what other messages come through with these clarifying cards. There's so many messages in that. I hope I didn't confuse anyone. I want to look first at the Seven of Rods right here, which talks about standing up for yourself, standing up for your truth, standing in your own convictions and beliefs. Seven of Rods. Yeah. So like I said, for some of you, you've been really struggling to find work, or you've been really struggling to make yourself known or to stand up for yourself. Even with this being like a family situation, maybe you're struggling to stand up for yourself with your family. But there's some communication coming in, and it's something that you're highly sensitive about, or something that maybe you've been a bit fickle about, like you just back and forth. I want to say, one day you're optimistic and the next day you're pessimistic about whatever the situation is. But there's communication coming in about this situation, and there's a new opportunity. Something new is arriving for you that's going to be successful, something that's going to relieve you from whatever these up and down feelings or sensitivities are about, okay? I want to look at the Judgment card. Judgment is the overall energy card, and I feel like this is the card that talks about a rebirth, a new beginning for you. It's like, you've been either trying to paint something on a blank canvas, and you're finally going to do that this month, or you've already painted something, you're not happy with it, you're wiping it clean, and you're starting new. Judgment. Yeah. So for some of you, you're leaving behind a situation. Maybe your family is not too happy with you that you're leaving, but you need to leave in order to manifest what it is that you want to manifest for yourself. The Friend card here is telling me that, it's not like anything malicious. It's not like people aren't trying to be malicious or hurtful towards you, and you're not trying to be that towards them, but you're needing separation. You're needing something new, and you're gaining that this month. You're emotionally saying, you know what, I love you, or I care about you, or if it's a work situation that you're leaving behind, I'm leaving it behind because it doesn't work for me, and you're okay. You're accepting that, and you're moving forward. For some of you, where this is concerning unemployment, where you're gaining employment, your efforts are being noticed, spiritually speaking, your efforts are being noticed. And maybe a friend is going to be the one offering you a position or giving you ideas. And where you have felt emotionally weak, where you felt like you couldn't be successful, you're saying goodbye to that. Okay? So that's what I have for the general reading. I'm going to move into the singles. We have the Queen of Swords, Four of Pentacles, the Emperor, Queen of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Moon, the Four of Swords, the Two of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have Justice. So, for singles, you're coming up as the Queen of Swords, which coincides with your zodiac sign, being that you're an air sign. But what I'm really getting out of this is that you've been maybe hurt in the past, or perhaps you've been without a relationship for some time, and you're kind of holding back, not dating, not seeking new relationships, because you feel more in control of your life and yourself when you're not in a relationship. But there's something here about this month facing your fears of being vulnerable and opening yourself up, opening up your heart to receiving love and receiving that intimacy that you've been denying yourself for some time. You've been taking a break from relationships, but there's a message here that you can't truly be in control of yourself. You think you're in control of yourself by not engaging in relationships, and you think preventing a relationship from coming into your life is kind of keeping you in balance. But you're actually out of balance, which is what the Justice card is telling me here. You're out of balance because, yes, it's important to be logical and practical and, in control and what have you. But in order to truly be in control, you also have to be willing to open yourself up to vulnerability and experiencing love and intimacy and connection with another person, because the true balance comes in when we're receiving what we need on the emotional level and a mental, intellectual, physical level, okay? I'm getting like chakras are imbalanced. There's too much concentration on other areas of life because, again, there's fear of vulnerability. There's fear of being disappointed. There's fear of losing yourself in a relationship. But like I said, this month, it's about you facing that fear and overcoming it so that you can have that connection, that intimacy, and find your soulmate, find that one true partner that understands you completely. You can't have that if you're alone and, you're just taking break from relationship out of fear of having one. Okay? So let's look at this more in depth. I want to look at the Chariot, because the Chariot for me, this is a soldier and he's charging forward in battle, okay? He's overcoming his enemies, which your enemies would be your own fears. And you see the two sphinxes here at the bottom, which are black and white, which represent yin and yang energy. It's about having a balance. This Chariot cannot run properly if yin and yang isn't balanced, right? So again, it comes down to balance, balancing your energies, being a go-getter in your life and focusing on things that need your rational mind, but also being vulnerable and opening up emotionally. Let's look at the Chariot. There's transformation. The Death card comes up here with the Wedding card and then the Prisoner card. So what this is telling me is there's a transformation taking place between feeling trapped, because ultimately what you are trapped by your own fears. You're telling yourself it's a matter of self-control, but really what it is you're trapped by your fears. And there's an ending and a break to that so that you can find that connection, that intimacy with another individual. The Chariot is about moving forward. It's about breaking free. It's about victory, achievement, and overcoming obstacles. So you're overcoming this obstacle within yourself that has prevented you from having this connection that you truly, honestly, really want. Let's look at the Moon card. Yes. Oh my goodness. So the Moon card, again, it's about your own fears, repressed fears, subconscious fears, doubts, insecurities. You're lying to yourself. You're being deceptive with your own self. And if there's anyone you should be honest with, it's with yourself, first and foremost, even if what we have to face is scary, you know? Facing these fears, facing this doubt, and overcoming. This card is about healing. It's someone who's sick, but this can be emotional sickness too. So when you're deceiving yourself, you're emotionally ill, because you're not serving yourself. And then the Priest card comes in to say, have faith, be hopeful. Have faith that by allowing love into your life, you're going to connect with someone who's worthwhile. It doesn't necessarily mean if you find a relationship that you're going to be hurt. Okay? That's the fear that needs to be overcome. So I'm going to move into the reading for coupled Aquariuses. Oops. Can't shuffle tonight. Ace of Pentacles, Temperance, Eight of Rods, Nine of Rods, the Five of Swords, the Emperor, Three of Swords, Six of Rods, Queen of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Strength. Oops. We have the Strength card. Okay, so coupled Aquarians. Well, there's a new beginning that's trying to come through for you, but you're not trusting of it because you've had some heartbreak in the past. Perhaps a partner is returning, or, after some heartbreak in this relationship, your partner's wanting a fresh start and you're not trusting of them. You don't think they deserve another chance, or you're just afraid of being hurt again. I have to say, for some of you, this is saying that I want to say someone cheated and you were very hurt. You're on the mend, though. I mean, you're standing. You're on guard. You see this man surrounded by his rod, so he's defending himself. He's holding one in case he needs to protect himself. Has his head wrapped in a bandage. He's on guard. He's defensive, but he's standing. But he's apprehensive. And for some of you, it's like this month, there's a real quick transition where you're letting someone go and someone else comes in. And whoever this person is that's coming in can be a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. For others of you, this is reestablishing the bond in your relationship that you may have thought was like all hope was lost, or you really doubted, you could trust this person again. But I see that this month there's healing in this relationship, and there is victory in reestablishing the bond in this relationship. But what it's going to take in order for that to happen is strength. And it's going to take letting go of the pettiness and any kind of petty arguments. Ultimately, you're in control. And you have a decision to make. There's something here, too, about emotional manipulation or emotional abuse. Maybe some of you have dealt with that, and there's healing this month because you're regaining your emotional security through a new partner. Some of you are still dating someone who you feel is very controlling, aggressive, domineering, or you haven't completely cut ties, but you meet someone new and you feel as though you can trust this person. And they fill you with, self-confidence, but also give you strength, really. Give you strength to end the relationship that has not worked. It's interesting. Let's pull a few clarifying cards on this. Let's look at Three of Swords. Well, we knew that. Yeah, some of you, there was some type of falseness, deception. Somebody lied. I feel like, again, somebody cheated. Or it can be that, again, you're with someone, but you meet someone new. So this deception could be on your part as well. And with, this is the joyful card, but I'm really focused. My instincts are kind of focused on the three people in this card. So it's telling me there's three individuals involved in a situation on top of the Three of Swords with the deception card. And someone comes out single. Okay. But let's look at the Six of Rods, which is all about victory. This is overcoming that hurt. Yeah. This is about you moving on from this relationship with this lover. that has been deceptive and has brought you sorrow, and you're moving away from this relationship. I want to look at one more card. I want to look at the Eight of Rods, because traditionally in tarot, the Eight of Rods represented new love coming in swiftly and unexpectedly. Now it just means communication, but so this could be a swift ending to this relationship. We see this woman, this is about letting go of a love. You see, she's dropped the rose, the boat is sailing away, and she's not on it with the partner. So she's letting him go. There's a conversation that takes place, however, and this is about, this is the doctor. So this is about healing, mending a relationship, or just your connection with this individual. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end up back together, but it can just be you successfully letting go of this person emotionally and not holding on to pain or resentment or hurt. You know what? I want to look at one more card. I want to look at this Ace of Pentacles to see what this new beginning is about. Maybe this is like a newly established relationship that you've been kind of defensive about because you haven't trusted this person, and you find out that they're lying, that they're being dishonest, and you end it right away. But because it's a new relationship, I don't know. You're not as, terribly hurt as you would be if you had been together for several years. Like, let's say, that's kind of what I'm getting. Let's see what the Ace of Pentacles has to say. Yeah, so it looks like, with this relationship, there was some lack of consistency in this new relationship. You thought it was a fortunate blessing, but now you're feeling some melancholy because there's doubt and insecurity about this relationship. You're just on the fence about this person, or you've been on the fence. And this month, it all kind of gets cleared up, where you know the truth, you see the truth. Remember that we have Temperance here, and Temperance is the card of healing. So no matter what happens, emotionally, you're going to be okay, but you have to remember to keep the balance. It's so Aquarius, like for all three readings, there's been something regarding balance in all three readings. So there's something here about emotional and mental balance that needs to be worked on. But Temperance here in this particular spread is saying that you will heal and you will be okay. At the end of it, you're coming up as the Queen of Cups. Okay, so you're emotionally stable, you're strong, because you're taking on the persona of the Emperor, where you're saying, you know what, I'm in control of my life, I'm in control of what I bring and what I allow in my life and what I don't allow. I've seen how this person, because this Emperor is looking directly at this Five of Swords, I've seen how this person acts. They're all about themselves. They're greedy. There's, again, three people in this card. They've taken advantage of me and someone else. I'm not going to let them get away with it anymore.